Aviation. The diversion of a United Nigeria Airlines flights operating on the Lagos-Abuja route to Asaba, Delta State on Sunday was another manifestation of the crisis rocking the aviation sector in Nigeria. While management of the airline blamed it on bad weather, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, countered it. Keyamo noted that it was an administrative issue on the part of the airline, as the pilots are not familiar with the terrain. He directed the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau to release the reports on the flight within 10 days. Jide, this will not be swept under the carpet, so that we know exactly what happened. It was like, quite embarrassing when you are coming from Abuja and the next thing maybe you just tried to take a 30-minute nap, and after 45, 50 minutes they tell you that you're in Asaba, in Delta State.
It's unfortunate that this happened, and the attempt to pull the wool over our eyes is what I find disappointing, because Keyamo, the minister, said that the control tower kept asking the pilot to confirm again that the plane was heading to Abuja, not Asaba. But the pilot replied that it was going to Asaba. How did you fill the aircraft with Abuja-bound passengers only to take them to Asaba? So, as the minister said, the pilot is a foreigner who clearly did not know
the terrain.
They did not know where I was going. Just took them to Asaba, and it can be really embarrassing. Many things are happening. There's a need to sanitize the sector. I'm happy our safety record is not really bad. Let's not exaggerate things, but there have been some near mishaps.
And indiscipline.
Near mishaps are making people to be worried. For example, where a pilot lands a plane and it overshoots the runway. This is an unforgivable error. And naturally, such a pilot deserves to have his license taken from him. You can't land an aircraft without calculating very well, and then it ends up overshooting the runway. That's unacceptable. And we saw it happened recently,
Yeah, in Abuja.
So we really have to be careful. We've seen some small aircraft having accidents. I just pray that we do not see a big aircraft being involved in an accident. For a long time, we've not had it on the domestic route, and we really need to be grateful. But the only way to stop this sort of thing is vigilance. Let the regulatory authorities do their work, do due diligence, ensure that airline owners are not permitted to cut corners in any way, because where airline owners cut corners, they can compromise the safety of passengers and even the aircraft. So I appreciate what the minister is doing. He almost didn't get nominated as a minister, but you can see he's doing his best. He responded quickly to what happened by summoning a meeting, to talk about safety. And you can see now they've decided to bar the airline from operating its wet lease aircraft, because based on the wet lease agreement, sometimes they send the pilot as well as even the crew. I've been on some airline in which the entire crew was not Nigerian, including even the cabin crew. Both the pilots and the cabin crew were not Nigerian. So Maybe it was part of the agreement, the wet lease agreement that was signed. So they told them, don't fly any of the aircraft that is on wet lease, at least until further notice. Pilots must be familiar with the terrain so that you don't end up taking our people to Sambisa. You know? They have to be
This is quite embarrassing.
Yes, I've been trying to figure what happened, but I think, like the minister said, the pilot is not familiar with terrain. You know, in the aviation industry, they work with codes. For example, the code for Lagos Airport is LOS. Abuja is ABV. Asaba is ABB. So, Asaba is ABB.
ABB.
Yes. Abuja is ABV. So if you look at the tag on your luggage whenever you are traveling,
Or boarding pass.
you see all these codes there. So probably because from preliminary investigations, according to the minister, he said from the control tower, they kept asking him, are you going to ABB or ABV? He was repeating ABB, or probably maybe it was his pronunciation or whatever. I want to believe that happened, but
Asaba.
then, yes,
Lagos.
yes, Asaba, Abuja.
Abuja,
But then,
sorry.
if you look at the codes, ABV and ABB. So, between B and V, I want to believe something like that would have happened, or I'm not saying 100%. But then, the management of United was trying to be clever by half. By that statement they issued, they said
Weather.
it was weather. But Abuja weather was very fine, very clear that day. So, no excuse. And I wonder...
They would have been embarrassed.
Yes. And in the plane, those the passengers who were in the plane said the pilot apologized, that the management of United gave him a wrong flight route, of wrong flight information. So maybe somebody was maybe lost control or something, or lost concentration. Instead of writing B, he wrote a V. Or, because like I said, if you are doing Lagos to Abuja, you see LOS to ABV. Lagos to Asaba, LOS to ABB. So all those airports, they have different codes. You won't see the name of. So I want to believe that's what happened. But I thank God at least they arrived Asaba safely. Before they were now...
What am I going to do in Asaba?
Asaba.
If you are flying, you know your flight route, your flight path.
Yes.
He's the only one who knows why he went to Asaba. Honestly,
Maybe
only one.
It's like a mystery.
You can't get into a plane.
Till they come out with
He has a
You
mission
can't get
there.
into a plane. Before you fly, they first go, they check even the weather. The weather.
Or where you are going to.
We know that the weather, this is the weather where you are going and all that. It's a place in the airport where they go in. You know, Mavis and the rest of them. Mavis even set up the equipment. So you check, the pilot has full information about the weather.
What you're saying is true, because by the time you get to a certain altitude, the pilot again will now talk that this is so.
Even
We
before
are flying in an altitude of 35.
Before they will tell you before leaving that the weather in
And the
Yes,
destination
they will
is
tell you the
okay.
weather and the destination.
Yes.
Yes, that Lagos weather is long.
and
we are going to get
sometimes
there
they will say that we will experience minor turbulence. There's nothing to worry about
Yeah.
and all that. Sometimes pilots, they don't tell you the truth because they don't want panic.
Yeah.
They don't want panic. I've been in a situation when the aircraft had hydraulic problem and the tires couldn't come out. We were hovering for like 40 minutes.
Let's see the
We
time.
were looking at Lagos. We
trying
were
to-
looking at Lagos,
trying to
but we didn't land.
You can't
Trying
land
to
now.
fix it.
You
Yeah.
know, they kept trying. They kept trying. So, but they lied to us that there was a VIP,
Traffic.
a VIP that
Maybe the
and
president was
they shot the airspace.
Airspace, yeah. A VIP movement.
So some people will be abusing the president.
So now we were going. You will see him coming close as if it's going to land, then it will go up again.
To turn, yeah.
Then sometimes he will just even leave the Lagos area, somewhere close to Abeokuta or something, and then come back. So I was just curious. You know, there was a time I joined one group like that, one WhatsApp group, international WhatsApp group, where I get information about airlines, even some of the Nigerian airplanes that are on sea check. All the countries where they are doing the sea check, they post. So I can even track Nigerian Airlines. There are planes that are in France on sea check and all those places. So suddenly, I noticed that the airplane shook vigorously, which is usually what happens when the tire is engaged.
Trying to come, yeah.
When that thing engage the landing gear, you know. So I knew that tire just came out. I always know when the tire comes out, you see that it will just
and it will even make a sort of noise.
to make a sound. Then there will be vibration.
Yeah.
So once that happened, I said, it's like this man is about to land. And then we landed. As soon as we landed, I walked up to one of the guys amongst the cabin crew. I said, what happened now? Why now it was like this now? The guy now confessed. He said, you see, the pilot was struggling.
With the hydraulics.
That they had hydraulic problem. But they knew that if they told us, there would be so much panic.
People start praying.
So sometimes it could be a problem, maybe engine problem or something, that will necessitate maybe diversion to somewhere you will not know, somewhere closer.
And if it doesn't come out, you cannot land.
You can't land now. You can't land on his belly.
You can't land on belly. That's
it will cause
crisis.
problems. Where in some climes where they've had that kind, we don't have the emergency response to allow. Maybe in the US, if they had that problem, they could force it to land. Especially if they don't have enough.
It happened within the airports, but they couldn't get.
But it caught fire and they still kill people. You know, elsewhere, the parents were looking at those at the aircraft. Now they were waiting. It crashed at the airport, and people still died. You know, so I don't. They are the ones who know exactly what. I'm waiting for the result of that investigation. It will really open our eyes to what really happened. All of what they are telling us now, I don't, because your control tower is communicating with you. They know where you are.
And they were asking him. I kept telling them Asaba, and they were saying, "Are you sure Asaba?"
We hold the minister responsible so that we know the outcome of this investigation.
I think Keyamo has started well. We have to give him kudos. For that. He started well. Look at what he said about the Nigeria Air. That's a minister who is truthful and who loves his nation. That kind of deal. You know how musician, you know how he described that deal. He said they had never seen where they flashed aircraft. That Nigeria, they flashed us and aircraft. You know?
Ethiopia, I mean, each plane is registered. Like this one that went to Asaba, the registration number is there. NUA 0504. Each plane has its own registration. So that one is registered ET something.
Even the deal, Ethiopia Airlines has 49%. Sovereign Investment Authority of Nigeria has 46%.
That's NSI.
Federal government has 5%. How do you
call
it national carrier? And then it's a foreign entity that has the majority,
the highest.
The controlling, stake. It makes no sense. And Keyamo has said no, that, we are waiting for the president. He has the final say, but it's irresponsible of the federal government to continue that transaction.
It's not possible.
All right.